and iPhone. Whose iPhone? Let me see if I see it in the chat. That iPhone, that's Ariel. Okay, Ariel is an iPhone. Okay, Ariel. I mean, just want to make a notation. If you guys, when you come on, if you have the ability, change your name, because that's how I take attendance. Otherwise, I don't know if you're here or not. So let me just make a little note here. Just okay. Just a second. Okay. All right. I just want to make sure that I get your all attendance in here, because attendance is important. All right. So having said that, we now have online already Mr. David Smith, who is the CEO for Solid Ground Financial, that's going to share some additional financial information with you. Hi, David. Welcome.
Hey, how's it going? Good to see you.
Fantastic.
Everyone in the chat, if you guys have any questions while I'm speaking, feel free to interrupt me. All right. So my name is David Smith. I'm a business coach and I'm a financial advisor. I've been in the business for over 25 years, assisting customers with resolving their debt. And I'd like to start by explaining my why. And with any business plan, you should always have a why. Why do I want to start this business? What is the reason why I want to become a business owner, right? So my why is I have a passion for helping others and assisting others and becoming financially literate, resolving their debt. I started out as a debt collector when I was 21 years old, umpteen years ago. And I noticed that, it was very harsh on the people who couldn't pay their bills. And, the training was geared towards collecting money, and whatever needed to be done to collect that money, we had to accomplish, right? So in my eyes, I didn't feel good going home at night, telling people to sell their TV and pay your bill. So I then decided that I was going to become an advocate for consumers who are in debt. So I then, joined into a debt consolidation and debt settlement company, which allows consumers and borrowers to pay their debts off at a fraction of the cost that it would take them if they were to pay back the entire debt. And through my journey, I learned a lot in finance, and I decided that I was going to continue and pursue my career and start a business, right? And my business has been in business for 16 years, Solid Ground Financial. A child must learn to sit up before they can roll over, right? And then before they can stand, they have to learn to crawl, right? Before they walk, right? So there are steps involved when you're starting a business. And it's essential that you take the right steps. Now, I know a few of you already have businesses, which is great. But in order to maintain that business and have longevity in the business, it's important that you pay attention to a few things that I'm going to go over with next. Okay, having a business plan, first off, is essential to your success. Your business plan is sort of a roadmap to your success. Your plans for the next 5 to 10 years and how you're going to execute those plans, right? Is very important. This way you have a step-by-step method in place, so that way you don't fall off track or you don't get sidetracked, right? Now, once you have that business plan, you have to then determine whether or not you want to have a partner. Me personally, I have 2 other partners. They say the power of 3 is very essential when building a business. It's very difficult to build a business on your own because there's many different roles that you would have to play. It's easier when you have creative minds like minds like yourself that you can trade ideas with and come up with a plan to provide yourself with a stable solution for your business to be active and for it to be productive. The most valuable businesses, they start out with an idea, right? And they say that the graveyard is the most valuable place in the world. Why? Because so many people have these ideas and they they go to heaven without presenting their idea or attempting to pursue their ideas, right? So it's important that, we take our ideas and we pursue them, because thoughts become things, right? And in order for those thoughts to become things, you have to put in the effort, you have to put in the work, right? Now, the types of businesses that I find to be most productive start off with retail, online stores, brick and mortar, food or restaurants, and then of course services, products and services, right? My passion is something that I love to do. So when you're starting a business, it should be a business that you have experience in, you have a skill set in, right? Something that you enjoy doing, because this is going to be your baby. You're going to build this from the ground up. Unlike going to work for someone else where, you're just working for someone else's vision and someone else's dream, right? Now, when starting your business, it's important that you come up with a unique name for your business, right? And that can just, be done with some brainstorming, writing down maybe 10, 15 names and choosing a name that best fits your business. It's also good to think about marketing when you're coming up with your business name. Is your business name marketable, right? Is it catchy? Does it have a slogan, right? And you also want to come up with a logo for your business, right? Once you come up with the name, then it's important for you to incorporate your business. Your articles of incorporation can be incorporated on Sunbiz, as Crystal spoke about earlier, okay? Incorporating your business is placing ownership, a name on your business with the state. It's registered. Once it's registered, then you want to obtain your tax ID number, which can be done with the IRS. Something else that Crystal spoke on. Now, she also spoke about your business plan. Business plan is essential, and I think I touched on this earlier. Your business plan, again, is essential to having a direction on where you're going. And when you're looking for a loan or you're looking for funding for your business, one of the first things they're going to ask you is going to be for your business plan, okay? Now, then you need to step into designing your website, owning your domain, purchasing your domain. And you can utilize platforms like GoDaddy or Network Solutions to purchase and own your domain, and then building the website, investing into your website, building out a website that's presentable to others, and making sure that your website can produce what you're looking for it to produce, correct? Any questions so far? Someone's in the chat. Okay. All right, so after designing your website, what else is next? What's next? Marketing your business, right? So having a marketing plan, there's several ways to market. Personally, I feel you should have 3 different marketing avenues to market your business. You have online marketing advertisement. You have radio advertisement. You have TV advertisement, and the list goes on, right? But marketing your business is very essential to producing income, because if people don't know about your business, then how are you going to produce income, right? Also, knowing your demographics. Your demographics meaning, who am I marketing to? What is my product or service geared towards, right? And those are the people that you want to target, right? And then you want to look at your analytics to make sure you're targeting the right people, okay? Because you don't want to spend marketing dollars, marketing to someone who's not interested in your product or service, right? Then you want to have your business bank account. Crystal spoke about that as well. You want to run all your income through your business account, because when you're looking for financing or funding, the banks want to see bank statements. They want to see 2 years of your tax returns, and they want to see 6 months to 12 months of bank statements. So it's important that you open up your business bank account and all of your business income is running through your bank account. Now, many businesses fail within the first 6 months to a year. And the reason why they fail is because of a lack of financial planning and not budgeting correctly. So it's important that you understand your income versus your expenses, and you map them out on a weekly basis and on a monthly basis, okay? Because if you're spending more than what you're bringing in, then now your business is on course to fail, All right, and that's not what we want. We want to always keep our expenses under 30% of the income of what your business is generating. Okay, and this is a safe way to ensure that your business doesn't go under or belly up. Now, when you have strong financials, the banks are they gravitate towards a business plan that has strong financials, and you have an idea and a direction on where your business is going. I recommend that you do not attempt to apply for a loan unless you have these things in order. Okay, and you can speak with a professional, an accountant who can help you. Make sure your income statements are sufficient to produce to the bank before you go. Once you go to the bank and you apply for a loan and you're denied, do not be discouraged if you are denied. It just means that you just need to put more work into the business and maybe come back with a tighter plan. Now, creating a daily journal is something that I love. Writing down and jotting down your ideas for the day, every day. Okay, and executing those plans every day is very important, because now in 12 months I can go back and I can look at my journal and I can see all that I've accomplished throughout the year. Okay, and that's very important when it comes to empowerment, right? And also it keeps you organized and structured throughout your day, every day. Financial literacy. Now, being financially literate is very important if you're going to run a business, right? Because you need to understand income versus expenses. You need to understand interest rates, credit card, business lines of credit. You need to know how all of these things work. You need to understand if you want to apply for a loan that you need good credit. You're going to need to leverage your personal credit. Banks are going to pull your personal credit, and pulling your personal credit is going to allow you then to leverage your personal credit to build your business credit, right? So first you need to establish your good personal credit. How do you do that? Well, it's essential that you have 3 trade lines on your credit report, okay? Now you can have a secured credit card, which is a card that you would load money onto that card. You would borrow against that money and then you would replenish it when it's finished, right? And this type of account can be added to your credit report and it will report as a trade line, okay? Capital One is a good bank to apply for a small credit line. You can start off with $300. You use the card every month. Okay, you use the $300 every month, and then you pay it off at the end of the month. Once you do that for 6 months, use the card and pay it off. Then you can request for a line of increase in your credit line. Once you increase your credit line, then you want to make sure that you're using 30% utilization of that card, which means if they increase your credit limit to $1,000, you always want to keep your utilization under $300, okay? And that is going to show the banks your credit worthiness, okay? So while you're building, keep these things in mind, because now if you follow these rules, your credit score is going to increase. And when you go to apply for a loan, they're going to leverage your personal credit, and then you can also build your business credit, okay? Building your business credit, you can go to Dun & Bradstreet and obtain a CPA number from Dun & Bradstreet, which is like your credit score for your business, okay? Now, budgeting versus your income versus expenses, okay? We spoke about this earlier. Your income is what you generate from your sales, right? When your income is produced, again, you're keeping an eye on your expenses, right? So, you have business expenses. You have, you may have an office overhead. You have your marketing, right? If you have employees, right? Technically, if you're a startup business, you shouldn't be taking a profit right away, because your money that you're making should go back into the business so that you can build the business, right? Now, everyone is not in position to not take profit. However, if you are taking profit, you want to make sure your profits are minimum so that you can continue to build the business with your own income. This will make your business attractive to banks when you go to apply for a loan, because you've been able to create the business, generate income, budget your income. In addition to building your credit worthiness, you come with a business plan, and now you have a solid presentation when you're going to apply for loans. Okay? Investing in yourself. Why do we invest into ourselves, right? Well, investing into ourselves doesn't necessarily mean that you're investing money into yourself, right? You can invest into yourself by education, right? Learning, doing research about your business, finding out different methods that you can utilize to generate more income, right? These are forms of investments as well. So it's important that you continue educating yourself, continue to be a student. Networking, going to networking events is important as well. Speaking with people. You never know who you may be speaking to that may be interested as a private investor in your business plan, okay? So, not only do you have the opportunity to go to banks, but there are private investors out there that may be willing to invest in your business as well. Any questions so far?
I think you're doing good. You can keep going. We got some questions, but I don't want to stop you.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You can interrupt me.
I would ask you a question about Capital One. I know that Capital One does a lot of ads and marketing publicity for the cards. But you were talking about $300. I mean, for a business owner, I really see this as a very, very small number. Mm-hmm. How many points do we get on credit when we do we call it, I think they call it credit, unsecured card. Mm-hmm. How many points would that give? I mean, if you work with that in a very responsible way.
So the number 300, I'm using as an example. Okay. Of course, when you apply for a credit card, the bank's going to review your credit, and then they're going to lend you according to your credit worthiness, right? Whether it's $300, it's $500, $1,000. But the objective is for you to start somewhere, okay? And if you don't have credit built, okay, then you want to start with a company that understands that people are beginners when they're starting to build their credit. I chose Capital One because that's who I use. Capital One, every 6 months, they will give you an increase. They will review your credit, and they will report to the credit bureaus your increase. When Capital One's reporting on your credit reports, TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax, okay, then you're going to start receiving offers from other banks, from other lenders, right? So it's a good starting point for yourself. How many points does it increase your score when you utilize your credit balance and you pay it off at the end of the month? There's no set amount of how much it's going to increase, but it will increase. And this is a good way to show them that, hey, I'm a good borrower. I'm responsible for my spending, and I'm going to pay off this entire balance every month. The banks like to see that.
And I can say that me myself. I've been in business for a while, so I get higher numbers. But I didn't know how to do my personal credit, much less my business credit. But once I learned how to do these things that you were saying, I went from a 580 credit score to over 750 in less than a year, just less than a year. Mm-hmm. Now, once you get there, you be careful. I do my bills twice a month. Mm-hmm. Okay, I pay my mortgage, my whatever I have on my credit cards, and twice a month. So I think this is a very good note that you touch here, and that's why I didn't want to stop you.
That's okay.
Thank you so much.
Here's my take on credit and spending. Okay, if you can't buy it 3 times, you can't afford it, right? And that's how I maintain a good credit rating, is because when you get a credit card, some people feel like, oh, I can go shopping and I can buy this and I can buy that, and before you know it, now your credit card is almost maxed out, or you're over 30% of the utilization. That severely affects your credit score. So when you're keeping it under 30%, this is going to allow your scores to grow. And when you have several credit cards, the banks, if you utilize Experian, you can pull your credit on Experian. It'll show you your overall utilization. Okay, your overall utilization needs to be under 30% as well. So for you business owners that are already established and are already in business, you can also apply for a Spark business card with Capital One. And this Spark business card will also give you cash back, okay? And it's a line of credit. So for example, I have a line of credit of $200,000. Now, every month, I don't spend $200,000. However, if it's available for me, if I need to invest my money into any projects that I may have, right? But it's important that if I'm going to invest into a project, that I'm able to pay that entire line of credit off within 30 days, or else that's going to affect my credit. What is the name of the bank for credit? The name of the company is Dun & Bradstreet. If you go online and you Google them, Dun & Bradstreet, they give you a Dun score. All right. You have to, there's certain qualifications that you have to meet in order to obtain a Dun score. But if you go to their website, I'll put it here in the chat, and they'll guide you and walk you through every step of the way. Any other questions? Okay, so I'm going to continue. Here on. Now, so when you have a business plan, okay, and your business is doing well and your business is thriving, you didn't have an opportunity to even sell the business. So if your business is structured in the right way and your business is thriving and you feel like, hey, you know what, I may be able to sell this business for, X amount of dollars, and then I can start something else, right? Those things are available for you. So it's important that, while you're building your business, you keep those things in mind. Most successful business owners start a business, build the business, and then sell the business, and then they start all over again, right? And so, this is a good way to inject a lot of money into your account so that you can have money to invest on your own, right? If you have a non-for-profit company, there's companies that will provide you with grant writing. Personally, I have a non-for-profit company, and I'm utilizing, one of the hardest things for me to find was a company that provides you with grant writing, because there's so many things that need to be submitted along with your request for funding when you're looking for a grant. This company is called fundcity.com. I'm going to put it in the link as well. Oh, and I need to put the Dun & Bradstreet in here. So if you guys are looking, if you're looking, they also invest and provide grant writing for small businesses as well. Okay. And let me give you guys the website for Dun & Bradstreet. All right, here we go. Okay, so I put those two websites there as well. All right. So do I have any other questions before I proceed? Okay, so let's talk about entrepreneurship. I'm sorry, did someone have a question?
Yeah, what's the cost for Dun & Bradstreet credit leveraging?
So for you to obtain a DUNS number, there's no cost. Okay, you would just need to go to their website, fill out the form request, and then you'll be able to obtain it. All you need is your tax ID number, your business name, of course, your personal information. Okay, and the way it works is you need to add. So the business credit, companies do not add or report like personal credit, right? So your personal credit, you get a credit card or you purchase a car or a home, right? And then they report every month to your credit bureaus or 3 credit bureaus. With your DUNS credit score, you have to add them yourself. So let's say, for example, you purchase a vehicle and you purchase that vehicle and you put it in your business name, right? Now you need to contact Dun & Bradstreet, give them the name of the company that you finance with, and then they'll do a request from that company and they'll add that credit history onto your DUNS score. You need to have at least 3, just like your personal credit, you need to have at least 3 companies reporting on your DUNS score in order for your score to increase. Okay? So Does that answer your question?
Yes, I mean, this is one thing that I've been reached by Dun and Bradstreet, and they want $1,500. Maybe that's another level.
That's the next level. So this is an entry level. Okay, they have a hefty fee. However, the entry level, it doesn't cost you anything, right? And you can control it yourself by contacting these companies that you have in your business name, right? And making sure they're reporting to your DUNS account, your DUNS report. And you don't have to pay them anything for that.
All right. I hope that before you go, you'll leave us your numbers, so I'll need that to reach out to you.
Absolutely. Before I go, I'm gonna pull up a screen share so I can show you guys the website, and you guys will have my contact information on there as well. Okay. Now, I recommend also that since you're a business owner or starting a new business, you want to make sure that you have everything's in a business expense. Okay. Your home office, okay, is a business expense, which means if it's at home, if you're paying rent, your rent is now a business expense, right? Your gas is business expense, right? Your car, right? Your phone, right? Your computer, your laptop, food, lunches, all of these things can be considered a business expense when you're filing your taxes for your business. And these expenses are going to allow you to save money on paying Uncle Sam, right? Me personally, my business pays for everything, right? And then my business pays David Smith, right? And this way, David Smith has no liability, right? And also, when you're opening a business, you want to make sure it's an LLC. Why is it important that you open up an LLC versus an INC or a corporation, right? Or an S corp? An LLC is a limited liability corporation. That means if your business were to, let's say you were to be sued, they cannot come after your personal assets. Okay? So it's important that you make sure you open up your LLC, and it's important that you have yourself a good accountant. Okay? A good accountant to do your returns, tax returns every month. I've witnessed scenarios where the IRS, audited businesses because they didn't have a good CPA. And their tax returns were audited, and they ended up having to pay more money to Uncle Sam than they needed to pay. Okay, so it's important that you have yourself a good CPA, and if you need one, I will recommend one for you. Okay?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to talk about now, unless there's any other questions here. Let me see when I lost my spot. Yeah. I'm going to talk about now entrepreneurship. Okay? What is the definition of an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is someone that has an idea that can change the world, right? Did you know that 99% of the businesses in the United States are small businesses? What do small businesses do? Well, they keep our economy thriving, right? They allow for jobs, they create jobs, right? They also allow people to come up with ideas that can help others, right? Which I find very important in the world that we live in. And it's not easy to come up with, to push a business that is going to change the culture, right? For example, my business, debt settlement. In every state that we operate in, there are laws and guidelines that we have to follow, right? And the laws are designed to keep you out of business. So it's important that whatever type of business that you're operating, that you make sure you follow the rules and the regulations in that state. Okay, if you're working in multiple states, you want to make sure you're working and taking a look at the rules and regulations in all those states. This is important so that you don't get fined, right? Because you get fined, and then that's another expense that your business might not be able to sustain. All right? Do I have any other questions or concerns as of now? Don't be shy. I'm here, guys.
Hey, if anybody does have a question, one of the things that we find in doing business, and I tell you things that happened to me that I have healed from, but it's so goddamn many years to get out of the fear of what would so and so say, and then most importantly, the fear of success. Mm-hmm. Would you please say a word about that, please?
Well, when you're successful in business, what they say, more money, more problems, right? So the more money you make, you're gonna encounter, obstacles, roadblocks, right? That you must understand that the way the world is designed for you to go to school, go to college, and work for someone else, right? It's not designed for you to understand how to start a business, understand your income and finances, right? So when you're up against the odds already when you start a business, right? And you become successful, you want to take a look back and see all the work that you've put in and where you've come from, and be grateful for that success that you've been able to obtain. Because there's millions of people that are still going to work every day, working for someone, and they don't like their jobs. They don't like what they do, right? 9 times out of 10, if you're a business owner, you're doing something that you love, right? And when you're doing something that you love, it takes out the work. So now it doesn't become work anymore. It becomes fun. Although it's still work, you're having a good time, right? So when you're successful, enjoy the benefits, because, there's always going to be a rocky road. There's going to be ups and there's going to be downs in business, So while you're up, take advantage of it, celebrate it, because you're not going to always stay up, But what they say is a man can fall 7 times, but you got to get up 8, right? So when you have those success moments, celebrate them.
And then another thing that I think is a lot of us, we don't see the need and the benefits of being successful. A lot of us, we learn to live within our means, mm-hmm. and we scale down and this and that. In reality, life has so much to give, mm-hmm. And as life has so much to give, we have so many people that do not have the abilities that we have. I mean, look, we are a group. We learn about business here. We have what we have already. I mean, they are supports. We have plenty of, like you just mentioned, something that that is said about the graveyard is the wealthiest place on earth, which I happen to disagree with. I think that thoughts is the wealthiest place that is happening in the world and is in the air. And to that matter, I would not go and find somebody, hey man, what book you did write? But I will go to the air and I'll say, Lord, bless my ideas so that I go ahead and develop new abilities that I can serve more people. Mm-hmm. This is my point of view about it.
Okay, well, being an entrepreneur is you're a forward thinker, right? And you're a change agent, right? Making a change will always come with pushback, right? But the problem is that there's people have ideas that they allow those ideas to, like you said, they come and they go, right? And then they lay on their dying bed and they say, man, I wish I would have tried to pursue this opportunity that I had, right? And there's millions of people that pass away without pursuing their dream, right? So that's why I say that the graveyard is a very valuable place, because there's a lot of ideas that passed away with people that could have been great, right? So
I mean, it's full of trash.
Huh?
I think it's full of trash.
It's full of trash. And also, you guys, I don't think Crystal spoke about the SBA. The Small Business Administration. The SBA, they offer loans and financing to small businesses at lower rates than you would find at your traditional bank. Okay, and you might have heard of the SBA during the COVID and the pandemic. and they were lending out loans at 3%. But they are very understanding of new businesses, and they're very lenient on minority businesses, business for women, and small businesses in general. So you definitely want to visit the SBA.gov and take a look at the opportunities that they have there as well.
Mhm.
So if you guys don't mind, Angela, can I share my screen here?
May I ask a question, Mr.
Sure.
Smith, before you move forward?
Yes.
Good evening. I was wondering whether you could maybe speak very briefly when you mentioned that the best business structure was an LLC as opposed to an Inc. or a C corporation with S status. Could you speak a little bit on that? And
Yes.
is there any protection that's afforded to someone who has an S corp, for example?
So with an LLC, it's a limited liability corporation, okay? So you want to protect your personal assets when you go into business. Anything can happen. If you have a restaurant, food poisoning, if you're selling a product, someone can be allergic to, the clothing that you're selling, right? So, and then they can come after you, but now they can come after you personally. So if you have a house or any assets that you own, they can go after those assets. With a limited liability corporation, and of course you want to make sure you have an attorney that drafts up your partnership agreement and all your business agreements. But with the limited liability, that protects your personal space. Okay, so now they can only, if there was a lawsuit, God forbid, they can only go after the business itself. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
And your name's Miss Thomas?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Nice talking to you, Miss Thomas. The structure and information you are sharing here is important to build. Does anyone else have any other questions or concerns?
Yes. Does that apply to a nonprofit as well? How does that work?
Hey, Mr. Jones, how are you today?
I'm pretty good.
Good to hear it. Good to hear it. So with a non-for-profit company, you can have an LLC as well. A non-for-profit company is exempt from a lot of, it's different from a regular traditional business. So you can have a non-for-profit that's an LLC. I personally have one that is an LLC as well. So yes, you do want to have that protection even with a non-for-profit company.
Okay, because currently I have incorporated. It's Inc.
So what you can do is you can go on to sunbiz.org and you can change the non-for-profit over into an LLC. You would just need to reapply or resubmit your articles, and then there's a form that you can fill out on the sunbiz.org, which will allow you to change the name from an Inc. to an LLC.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
I can do the same. I mean, my business has been incorporated since 2006.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to, I can do the
What type of
same
business?
form and
You have a roofing company.
I'm into construction. I'm a roofer.
Oh, okay.
Contractor.
Yeah, it's very important you change over to an LLC. If you guys need the link, because you're working on homes and things of that sort, right? So you want to protect your personal assets for sure. I'm gonna drop the link here and for you guys, ladies and gentlemen, so that you have that as well. And so here it is. Okay. There it is. Okay, putting the link here. And so you don't have to dissolve. So basically what you'd be doing is your business will still be active. You're just transferring the name from an INC or Corp or an S Corp to the LLC. And then what they do is when you file it, there will be a history. there'll be a history. If I can share my screen, I can give you guys an example. Let me see if I can share.
We just want to make sure that, once we continue to pay our annual fees, is it going to continue to accumulate, or is that going to change the years of experiences as far as, longevity?
No, because there's going to be a history there. There's going to be a history there, a filing history. Is it possible that I can have the ability to share?
So it's going to be cumulative. That's what you're saying, right?
So there's going to be a history of your business every year when you refile, when you pay
we
for
we already have that history. We already have that history for more than 10 years.
Right.
What I'm saying is that once we change from an INC to an LLC, doesn't accumulate. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the history is gonna still be there.
David, I already made you a host, so you're not able to
Oh, let me
share?
see. Let me see here. I'm trying to. Click on this here.
Yeah, you're a host, so you should be able to share.
Okay.
Go down to the little green thing at the bottom. It says share screen.
Okay, hold on.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. It's okay. I don't see where it's allowing me to share.
Move your. Okay, so down at the bottom where it says participants, you should see chat next to that, and then you should see share screen.
So mine says record. It says chat and then record.
Oh, right next to
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, hold on, let me stop that. Okay, so
The recording has
okay,
stopped.
let me look and see, because you actually are showing as the host right now. So I am trying to determine why you're showing as the host. So not sure what else you need at the bottom. I'm gonna go back. Hold on, everybody. Let me look. You should have sharing capabilities because you are the host on my side. Yeah, I don't have sharing capabilities, but you have it as host.
Let me see. Let me see if I minimize here.
It should say mute and then stop video, and then in the middle there should be participants, chat, and then share screen, then record.
Yeah, I don't have that. I don't have that option in between chat and record. Excuse me. Okay.
I don't know what. Let me undo it and then try to do it again.
Okay.
Again, 'cause I'm gonna reclaim it, and then I'm gonna make you a host again.
Okay. Perfect. Let's see if that works.
All right. You should see that you are a host again.
Okay. Let me see here. Record. Breakout rooms. No. Not sure why, but it's not there. Okay.
You want to email it to me? And then
Okay.
I share it?
Let me go to the link here and then I'll send it to you. Okay. Perfect. I'll do that.
And I'll just go to my Gmail. It's It's provision.
Okay. Hold on a second.
Oh, that's weird, because you have sharing capabilities. I don't understand why it's not letting me do that on this side.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna drop the link. Can I drop the link in the chat?
Yeah, probably. Yes, try that.
Okay, so we're gonna put in here. I'm gonna show them first where I started off as a corp.
So did you just put it in now? The Florida.
I'm gonna
my
put it-
Florida or what?
Yes, I'm gonna put it in the chat right now.
Okay.
This one was first. Okay. So here we go. So I'm gonna chat with you. And then here's the link where I started out as I started out as an INC. Can you see that link?
I'm clicking on it now. Hold tight.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Let me take host back. Okay. Let me take host back. I have it up. Let me see. There it is. Okay. And host. Share. There you go.
All right, perfect. Okay, so if you would scroll down, so you guys see the you see where I incorporated here in 2012. And it's inactive now because we dissolved and now I'm operating as an LLC. But if you scroll down, okay, so if you click on where it says View Image in PDF, yes. It's still loading.
Yeah. Try to close some of these other windows, see if that's slowing it up.
Okay. There it is.
There you
Okay.
go.
So the gentleman that was asking the question about the construction company, what was your name?
Ren.
I'm sorry, what was it?
Ren. R-E-N.
Ren. Okay, Ren. So if you take a look here and you see the history, okay,
Yes, I'm seeing it.
you see the July 20th of 2012, right? So now the history is gonna always live here. So now I'm gonna go back and show you where I am now. So we went to LLC.
You want me to stop sharing that one?
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go back into the chat again and send you another link.
So let me go back and close out some of these that I have.
So you see here, it's an LLC now, correct? And if you scroll down,
Yes.
if you scroll down, then you can see all the years where we file our annual reports, right? Now it's important also once you swip your corp or your INC over to a limited liability corporation, now you have to resubmit that to the IRS so that the IRS can report you as a limited liability organization. You will be able to utilize the same EIN number, so that won't change. But you're technically just updating the records, so that way it's across the board as a limited liability corporation. And if you need help with that, that's something your accountant could help you with that as well.
Very beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Do anyone else have any other questions?
I have a quick question.
Sure.
So how could you structure your company if you wanted to take it international as well?
If you want to have an international company, what type of business is your company?
It's general freight trucking.
Okay. So with your type of business, it's going to be, you have to follow the state laws, right? So as long as you're registered in all the states, right? The states that you're going to be operating in, and also the state that your home base is at, okay? You're going to be required to follow the laws of your home base, okay? But if you're transacting business in other states, you have to register your business in those other states as well. International law, there are laws that they have internationally that you would have to do the research to find out what type of rules or regulations they have. Because you don't want to, again, run into a situation to where you're being fined for transacting business, out of the country. Unless you have a brick and mortar or, an online store.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Do I have
There's
any?
a question in the chat.
Let's see here. Can you change from a for-profit LLC to a non-profit LLC? A for-profit LLC to a non-for-profit LLC. Well, yeah, you would need to apply for, if you're a for-profit company and you want to apply for it, become a non-for-profit company, you would have to apply for it. Okay, so for me personally, my non-for-profit, I applied directly to be a not-for-profit. So generally, if you're an LLC, that's a for-profit business. Having a non-for-profit company is a completely different application that you would need to submit. You can hire a company that can process that application for you, and I can also put that link here in the chat for you. And let me do that now. The process to become a non-for-profit, and the gentleman that asked me earlier about changing his non-for-profit from an INC to an LLC, you can attest to the procedure is quite tedious when applying to become a non-for-profit. Okay.
Tanya, is that a question or a statement? I see there's a Tanya McClinton. That's a question.
Is a question? Hold on.
Yeah, you have to file separate.
When filing taxes for businesses with an LLC, you would file separate from personal. Yes. So if you're paying yourself, if your business pays yourself, okay, first you would do the business returns. The business returns are due in September. After your business returns are done, then you can do your personal returns, because you would need to incorporate the income that you paid yourself from the business onto your personal tax returns. And that's something that your accountant should know and should be able to handle for you.
Right, and then what generally happens, David, correct me if I'm wrong, is that if you have profit on your business, then that comes over to your
personal,
to your personal taxes on a K1, and you pay taxes on that profit as
that's
part,
right.
part
That's
of your personal.
that's why it's important for you to, everything is a business expense. If you have to drive your car to meet a client, your car is now a business tool, right? If you're sitting down at the restaurant and you're eating with your client and you're paying for it, that meal is now a business expense. And if you can have a business account, right, that you utilize as opposed to using your business bank account, it is recommended for accounting purposes, because now all of your business expenses are on this one card, right? And the only thing that you're gonna have, and it's just cleaner for your CPA, and all the income, only thing that you're gonna have in your business bank account should be deposits, right? And then you have the bills that you pay, like your expenses, right? Your home, your car, your phone, etc.
That's one of the reasons why I like Capital One, because when you go in there, they have like software in there that you can categorize the different types of expenditures and make it real easy. And then the other thing is, I can't emphasize, like David's saying, you gotta have you a good accountant. I have a good one. You gotta have a good one that can find every little corner that you can write off to a certain point, because you want to show some income, right? Otherwise, especially after 5 years, otherwise it's not. You have to report that, and if it looks like you're not a viable business, then that's a challenge too. So you have to have someone that can balance it for you.
That's right.
Where you can maximize your write-offs, but
you don't want to get audited, right? You don't want the audits to come, because those audits come and and only time you're going to be audited is if you don't have an accountant that knows what they're doing. As long as they know what they're doing, and they're seasoned, then you should be fine. But for me personally, David Smith makes, $20,000, $25,000 a year. It's my business that generates the income.
Right. And I think it's important to know a lot of times, I think, with getting an accountant, sometimes, it's it can be a little expensive for them to file your taxes. And I used to be like, oh my God, that's so much. But, when I pay that amount, they will take over the complete audit.
Yeah, and
so what you paying in that month every year is what you would need for them if you have to go through an audit, right?
Right, and you're paying for experience, right? And so you want to have it done right, because you don't want to have to have it done wrong. If it's done wrong, then you're gonna have problems, and you don't want to have problems with the IRS. You're right. So typically an accountant shouldn't charge you more than $700 to do your taxes, and if they are, then they're ripping you off. And if you need me to recommend one, or for Angela to recommend one, then I would recommend just asking. But definitely you don't want to go to H&R Block or try doing it yourself. You're gonna need a profit and loss statement. Every year. You need that P&L statement along with your tax return. So make sure you have that as well.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah, I think sometimes, we shop around and we try to get the cheapest one, and just, it's like a lot of out of pocket. But at the end of the day, you don't, like Dave was saying, I've been there before. You don't want to risk that. You want to find someone with experience, pay them, and so you can have peace of mind.
It's like driving a used car. How much money you're gonna have to put into that used car for it to operate correctly, right? You might as well, buy a new car and have less liability, and you're safe, right? So same thing with, when you're dealing with your accountant. This is your business, so you have to make sure that all your I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed, when operating your business correctly.
Yeah.
Can you leave your Yes, absolutely. I would like to pull up my website. I wish I could share my screen, but unfortunately I don't have that option here. Would you mind, Angela, pulling up my website? Solid Ground Consultants.
This is Teresa.
Oh, Teresa, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Teresa.
No problem.
Oh man.
No problem. We pretty joined at the hip, so it's okay.
Okay, all right.
So let me. You want me to share the screen, or
yes? You want me to put the link in the chat?
Yeah, do that again, because that seemed to work out pretty good. Because I don't know why it won't let you share.
Okay.
Oh, look, it's just me.
Okay, here it is.
Okay.
Oop.
You put it in? Okay, there it is. Okay. It's not giving me a link.
Okay, here, I'll give you the link.
Let me hold on. Let me do this one. Let me.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. There you go. All right. So here we go. 1 second. Nice website.
Well, thank you.
Let's see. 1 second. Just give me a second.
No problem.
All right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is my website. I invested a good pretty penny into my website. It's a presentation of your business, and you want to also, the first, what they say, the first impression is what matters the most, right? So when someone comes to your website, you want to make it user friendly, you want to make it eye snatching, eye catchy, and you want to make it accessible and user friendly, right? So here I have, if you can scroll down just a bit, Teresa. So here I have, if you wanted to have a consultation, I have my YouTube here as well, which when you have a business, you want to make sure that you have a website, you have a web presence. So you have your website, you have your social media, your Facebook, you have your LinkedIn, you have your TikTok, you have your Instagram, you have your Twitter, right? You have your Facebook, and they all have the same name. Okay, this way everything is uniform across the board, and it's easy to find you, right? You also want to make sure you register your business with Google. In essence, if you create a Gmail account, you can create a Gmail account with your business name at Gmail, unless you upgrade to the business Google account. Either way, once you do that, you can then go on there and claim and build your business profile and then claim your business. So when you do that, you can put your address in, your website, and all your social media links in there. And that's going to allow when people search for your business, they're going to pull up a profile when searching. Okay? So it's important that you combine these tools together, because it's going to allow you to start to build sort of what they call as SEO, search engine optimization, for your business. And if you would go to where it says marketing strategies.
Where?
Right there on those address bar. Almost there. Up. Yeah, there it is. There you go. Down. There it is. Yeah. So marketing your business is essential to growth and development. Right? The more people, the more eyes you can put your business in front of, the better it will be for you, because then that's more opportunities for people to want to utilize your services, right? Or to hire you. If you wouldn't mind scrolling down. So there's things such as, it's called, I'm sorry, brain mind. Okay, so there's something called a Google Marketing AdWords campaign. It's a pay-per-click PPC campaign that allows you to advertise your business with an ad, and then people with certain search words or search terms, keywords, while they're searching the web, your business will come up in the top rankings, right, as an ad. And then when they click on your ad, it takes them directly to your website. So if you're selling a product or a service, this is a good way to build your brand awareness, right? Then you also have the ability to run ads on social media. Facebook has ad campaigns. Instagram has ad campaigns. LinkedIn has ad campaigns. And even if you're spending $10 a day, on running these ads, it's essential, because now your business is constantly being put in front of eyes, and that's what you want, your business to be in front of eyes, right? And while you're sleeping, your business is in front of eyes, right? And this is going to allow you to build your database and build up your clientele. Okay. If you go here to where it says building your website. So building your website it's a presentation for your customer. If you come to a website and you see there's misspellings, or you see things are not lined up correctly, that's gonna send them off of your page, right? And if whatever it is that you're offering, you want to make it so that they can find it easy, right? So, and then you want to have a way to chat with that customer, because they may have a question while they're on your site. People have a attention span of 15 seconds, okay? So if you don't catch their attention within the first 15 seconds, they're going off your site and they're looking for a competitor, okay? And that's the last thing you want, okay? Now, while you're marketing, if someone comes to your website and you're running an ads campaign, there's a tool that Google offers with Google Analytics. And that tool essentially will follow that customer around the web while they're surfing the web. So let's say, for example, they click on your website on the page, and then they leave your website and they go onto Amazon. Now, with this marketing tool, your ad is going to pop up on their side window on their Amazon account. Okay, so it's important that you look into these things. And of course, if you need help, my number's here. I'd be happy to assist you with that as well. If you go and click on the financial literacy book. Okay, so I recently released a financial literacy book, everything they don't want you to know about financial literacy. And the reason why I named it that is because everything that's in this book are the things that they should teach us in high school, at least 11th grade or 12th grade level, and they don't. And the reason being is back to what I said before, is they don't want you to start a business. They want you to work for someone. They want you to go to college, and they want you to come right out of high school and get into debt, right? Taking out a student loan and getting right into debt. Now, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to go to school and be educated, but there are places that you can go to get free education as well. However, if the students learn about financial literacy, it's going to allow them to understand money, understand interest rate, understand how to read their credit report, right? And 9 times out of 10, if you understand money, you're not going to fall into the debt trap and then have to call my company, Solid Ground Financial, to help you get out of debt, right? So, if you have Amazon, Kindle, or Audible, you can access this book here, or you can click on the links here right on the website. But my phone number is here, and I'm always available, and I'm always happy to speak and assist others with your needs for your business.
Excellent. Are there any questions for David? Donovan, I think I see your lips moving, but I don't know if you're asking a question. Are you muted, sir?
No, man, I was just saying I'm gonna just hit him up. I was gonna get in contact with him.
How you doing, Donovan?
Okay.
How you doing, sir? I'm good.
All right.
Okay.
Excellent.
Are there any other questions for Dave? Well, let's give him a hand. That was excellent.
All right.
Excellent.
Appreciate it. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for.
Appreciate your all the information you provided. I hope you guys saved his website, Wealth of Information. I'm definitely going to be looking at their financial literacy group, financial literacy book. I hope I think you might have got a call from the city because I referred them to you.
Okay.
To teach financial literacy. I don't know if they've spoken to you yet, but I gave them your name.
Okay.
Because they asked me to do that. I'm like, No, that's not my wheelhouse. I can tell you a little bit about it, but financial literacy is not my wheelhouse.
Well, I'll be happy to speak with them. Absolutely. I appreciate speaking with all of you, and I wish you all the best of luck. I don't like to say luck. I say blessings to you and your businesses, and congratulations to you all for taking the steps to follow your dreams. Keep on following your dreams. Keep pushing, and don't let anything stop you from conquering.
Okay, well, I see Vanguard. You have a question over there, Mr. George.
Yeah, I just got a question, quick question.
Yes,
I was
sir.
looking at my credit while you were talking. I saw that my credit went down 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
My credit card showing that I paid more money than I was supposed to. Is that problem? I make my payment twice a week. I mean, should I lost 10 points? I should have go higher.
So you said if you're paying more than what your minimum payment, or you paid more than what the balance owed was?
Yeah, that ended up happening this month, and I see that I lost 10 points. So that's really.
So in order for me to give you an educated answer, I would need to take a look at your credit. I also provide credit repair services as well. But I never like to just throw out an answer based upon, what you're telling me. I like to evaluate the credit report. And there's something that's on there that's pulling the score down. It's definitely not for making a payment. But I would need to analyze that. I don't know if I told you all, but I recommend having an Experian account. It's very inexpensive. And also, you can pull your credit without it affecting your credit score once a year. And you can do that through freecreditreport.com as well. Okay. And like I said, I recommend having Experian. If you have a Wells Fargo account, a lot of the banks now, if you're doing online banking, a lot of the banks will give you a snapshot of your credit history as well, your credit score. But I do recommend you monitor your credit, all the time.
And Capital One will do that too.
Capital One
early on. I definitely use Capital One early in my business, and you're right. I mean, I remember when I was broke as Cooter Brown, they only gave me $300. But as long as I paid it up every 6 months, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
Now
that's
I
right.
have like a really nice card, and I
Yes.
appreciate them for that.
Yes.
And every time they increased it, my credit increased, my
That's
credit
right.
score increased because now I have more access. I didn't use it all up.
Right.
But Credit Karma is also good too. Because
I don't like Credit Karma.
they could at least show. I mean, with Experian, I use Experian and Credit Karma because at least they can tell you what went wrong. If you went down, it'll say what changed.
So the reason why I don't like Credit Karma is because it's more of a cookie cutter. I feel, in my opinion, it's more of a cookie cutter. I mean, to each his own. I like Experian because Experian will send you. Actually, it'll tell you what you qualify for. And they will tell you, hey, you qualify for this American Express card, or you qualify for this Discover card, and it also shows you the cards that offer you cash back. And that's another thing. You want to look into cards that offer you cash back, right? And also when you're saving, when you have your business account established, you can open up a business savings account that pays you back money on the money that you're leaving in the bank. So your money's always multiplying.
Right. Well, I just want to say I'm not, I use several tools, but I found Credit Karma to be helpful because 2 weeks ago I had a bad debt hit my account. I disputed it.
Ah, okay.
They moved it off my account within a week.
Really?
They went and they went back. I disputed it, and they said we'll get right back to you. And then a week later, they notified it. They moved it off my account.
Oh, wow.
Moving.
They moved it off.
And they also give you all the different credit cards too. So I don't know if you've been on it recently.
Oh, they have? Okay.
They give you all cards.
Okay, well, I stand corrected. I stand corrected.
They let you know which one give you cash back, which one has transfer.
Oh, okay.
And they'll let you know which ones you're eligible for and all of that. So,
okay. So they must have upgraded.
Much a long time ago, but they really upgraded. And then they also have like literacy stuff on. They have different calculators on there that if you move your debt down this much, or if you pay this up, this is how much your credit score will change.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was able to quickly see my credit took like a 15-point dip, and I was like, what is that? And it said, what's changed? When I opened it up, they said, Brinks put something on there. So I went and they said, do you want to dispute it? And I said, yes. And I clicked on it, disputed it. And I think it was within 48 hours, actually, because I guess they communicated to them, and they couldn't come up with whatever it was that was supposed to get back to me. And then they moved it off my account. Next thing you know, they calling me on the phone. I'm like, no, don't call me. It's off my account.
Right.
Because they still trying to get it.
Did they take it off of all three reports? Wow. They probably sent them a debt validation letter, and they couldn't validate the debt. And that's why I got removed right away. Yeah. Well, that's great about Credit Karma. Kudos to them, because I know back, when I, years ago when I used them, they didn't have all of those excellent tools that Experian has. So it's similar to Experian. They gotta stay close to their competitors. So that's good. Very good.
Yeah, I have both of them. I have Experian, and the Experian account that I got there was no cost. That one was free.
Okay. Credit Karma's charging you?
Credit Karma's free.
It's free, right?
Free,
okay,
it's free.
Good.
Yeah. And in my Capital One also, you can click on theirs.
That's right.
They have
Discover's a good one also. Discover's a good one as well. Discover is a good one as well. And be careful when you're applying, because you don't want to have too many inquiries on your credit, because those inquiries will pull your score down. So, keep that in mind.
Exactly.
And they take 2 years to fall off your credit. The inquiries.
Yes. They do. Okay, well, just got to cover a couple of other things, a couple of housekeeping things, Dave, before you go.
All right.
You're free to go if you want.
Okay.
I just need to keep the class.
All right, guys. It's a pleasure speaking with you all. God bless you.
Dave.
All right, Teresa, be good.
All right, good stuff. Appreciate
all right.
you.
Likewise. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Yes.